When it comes to home improvements for golf, PuttOUT have arguably created the best lineup of stuff that you can buy, with the mats, the mirrors, the ramps, the gates, all of it. And at the back, with the devil ball. For anybody that hasn't ever had a PuttOUT product, the first thing you'll notice when you buy one is the box. Because the box is effectively your instructions and tips and drills on how to use the product that you've bought. And that hasn't changed with the devil ball, but we'll come back to that. So what you can expect to find inside is 2 devil balls, a marker, an alignment tool, and a travel bag, which is always a nice little feature. But on the box itself, like I said, it gives a really in-depth description and instructions on how to use it. On this side, it talks to us about the ball shape. That this isn't your average golf ball, and trust me, it really isn't. So it's about the same size as a standard golf ball. There we go. But only through the centre do we get the straight edge with the dimples like your traditional standard golf ball. After that, it all completely changes. Once you get outside of that rim through the middle, it totally slopes away, which then takes me into the back of the box. If you hit a devil ball with an open club face, you'll get an uneven roll spinning erratically off to the right. If you do it with a closed face, it will do exactly the same, but it will spin off to the left. Only if you hit this ball with a square face will you get a pure roll towards the target. To the other side, there's a QR code where you can scan for even more tips and drills, which I'll leave to you. And then even on the bottom of the inner box, it gives you a drill where you can basically put the marker down, put the ball behind, and this will, and leave it there, and this will encourage an uphill path and give us a better roll. So for anybody that has ever used the PuttOUT ramp, you will know how infuriating and how difficult it actually is to get the perfect putt. It really isn't easy. And it's very much the same with the devil ball. But I think that's good. Because if it was too easy, you wouldn't put in the effort, you wouldn't put in the grind, should we say. So the first thing I did with this was I took it to the putting green at the course. And instantly, I picked up on something. So the morning that I chose, I had a lot of morning dew and it was quite wet on the green, and obviously this ball was picking that up quite a lot. So even if I had, say, not a perfect roll but a not bad one, it would pick up on that dew, and I think that was sort of encouraging it one way. The second thing was, let's be honest, how many greens are perfectly flat with 0 imperfections? So I think I picked up a couple of times where I'd hit, again, not necessarily a perfect, but a not bad putt that caught a little lump, maybe a little worm thing or something, and it just sent this ball off. I'm going to be honest, I don't necessarily think this is made specifically for the putting green. I think this will really come into its own on the PuttOUT mat, which is obviously perfectly flat, 0 imperfections. And that's what this is all about. This isn't about necessarily going to the course, going to the putting green, finding a pin and trying to putt it. This is about instant feedback, which you're going to get a better idea of on the PuttOUT mat. I think a lot of the time, for any of us, whether it be with one of the arches, one of the gates, or even if we're just on the putting green with a couple of tees and basically doing a start line, that if we catch one side or the other, we would instantly look at that and think, right, alignment was off. When it probably isn't the case. It's actually about the open club face, which is what this is obviously designed to show. But the first thing I noticed when I took this out of the box was how premium it felt, how solid it is. The construction obviously involves a lot of plastic and other similar materials, but it just doesn't feel plasticky. It feels solid. I genuinely think I could put that on a tee peg and hit it with a driver. I won't, because I don't want to break it. But that's how it feels. So what I done after the course was I just went home in the kitchen where most people are going to be using their putt out equipment, because that's what it's designed for, within the house. And I tried it on the mat. That was where this really came into its own. Without those bumps, without that water, without the imperfections, this was just incredible. It, again, was even more responsive, if you like, for a lack of a better word, even more immediate on the feedback, which I just think is invaluable. That even for the amount of time that we could sit on a putt out setup with a standard golf ball and be missing the ramp left or right, hitting the gates on the way through, and just focusing on effectively the wrong thing, that we think we're aiming the wrong way, we're aiming too left, we're aiming too right, when effectively it's actually our putting stroke. I think it's just going to speed up improvement in putting massively. It has to. So to summarise, as a training aid, has the Devil Ball got a place in the market? 1,000,000%. Do I think it is effectively good for improvement? Again, yes. It has to be. It's going to be infuriating. You're going to hate it. You're going to want to throw it out the window. But that's good. The feedback is just second to none. And let me tell you something. If you thought getting the perfect putt on one of these was difficult before, try it with one of them.